AJ and I loved the And1 Mixtape Tour. That was something that we watched religiously as we grew up. How did you get involved with that, and how did you become the production company that produced the And1 Mixtape Tour?
So there were the mixtapes that were made, and And1 marketed them. But then Mike Antonoro, who was one of the heads of content at ESPN at the time, he had worked at hoopstv.com, which was one of the earliest streamers of content. And before everyone had dial-up, and nobody could really stream anything, but they were doing it. And he, I think that was partly owned by Seth Berger and the And1 guys, hoopstv.com. I may be wrong about that, but I think that was the case. Anyway, he developed a good relationship with them, and he called me and said, I want to do a series about the And1 Mixtape Tour. I said, I'm not sure that's a good idea. It's what are we going to do? It's just, we should really get involved in their lives and do like a real socio-political thing about, being a street ball guy and not making the NBA and what that means. And he's like, no, I want to do a show about this tour. It's going to be incredible. All right. And the first date was in Detroit, and it was so awesome. And the energy was so incredible. And it was sometimes you watch the first couple of mixtapes, and they're almost all, except for the Skip to My Lou stuff from Rucker and some Alamo stuff from the All City game. They're mostly from Linden, New Jersey, where Main Event and Shane set up that first big game for the tape. And, when you watch a highlight tape, usually then you go to the live event and it's so disappointing because the highlights are selected and everything else is just sort of normal. It's like why the Japanese fans started booing during the first huddle when the first pro NFL game was played in Japan, because they had only watched NFL films. They didn't know there were huddles between plays, and they thought the players were stalling or something. So, but this event in Detroit was wire to wire, thrill a minute. It was incredible. And those guys on that team, first, mixtape team or teams, were so charismatic, so extraordinary at what they did that they could walk the ball up the court, and it was thrilling to watch just the style. But then they'd go into action. The Hawks had a couple of And1 moments. My son and I were laughing watching the other night when after Trae Young threw it off the glass, and then when Gallinari spun PJ Tucker around, we were like, he's got to go. He's got to go. He should have rushed the court. It was unbelievable. But yeah,
get on the bus.
That's how I got involved. I was, and that was great. I think we ran 7 seasons, and we had a great time. And then, we had to come up with the concept of the competition and guys getting voted on and voted off. And that made it different, but I don't usually like shows that do that. I think they try to humiliate people and things like that. But this was a lot of fun. And then that's how the Professor and Helicopter and Air Up There and all these guys got their name, coming off the open run in the parking lot and getting invited into the arena. And it was really exciting. I mean, every aspect of that really was exciting.
You took me back, man. Like watching those films and going to Rucker and going to all those places to watch the play, it was like so much fun and just such a tap back into my childhood.